be delving into issues with the Black Stars. Now, we'll be discussing this with a couple of other journalists that will join us inside via Zoom. Sorry. I'm currently joined on the line by Joe Ross Williams. He is a member of the Lothar podcast. They are in Swindon town from UK. Joe, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to speak to you.
Well, it feels great listening to you as well. From far, I've been listening to your podcast and some of the things you have been doing in Swindon.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yes, it's always good to be talking about your local club, and we cover every single game, every blade of grass.
Okay, great. Now, our major discussion for today is the Black Stars. Now, one youngster has been mentioned. That is the goalkeeper of Swindon Town, Jojo Wollacott. He is a member of the Swindon Town team, and then he's doing brilliant there. But for us in Ghana, this is our first time of hearing this name, and it rings a bell. Who is he? What does he bring to the squad? But you are here to answer those questions from. So first of all, who is Jojo Wollacott?
Well, it was very exciting to hear about this call up from us guys supporting Swindon, especially going to a big established football nation like Ghana. But it was surprising to see on social media how controversial this choice was. I feel like I should explain that here in the UK, Premier League and Championships are the league just below the Premier League. They tend to sort of hoard goalkeepers. So they have very large squads, sometimes 3, 4, 5 goalkeepers in their squad. And then in the divisions below that, 1 and 2, they're sort of very scarce. If I give you an example from last year, we had a young man called Mati Kovac on loan from us who came from Manchester United. He didn't have the best of loan spells, but went back to Man United, trained, and he's actually been in the Champions League squad for the games against Young Boys recently. So it's not necessarily a case that when you come to the 4th division in England that you're no good, or that if you were good enough you wouldn't be playing elsewhere. It's very hard for young goalkeepers to get opportunities, and often you do get players coming from Premier League Championship clubs down to Leagues 1 and 2 so that they can get that game time and get themselves into the shop window and show their talents on a big stage. We get national highlight coverage on TV. We still get featured on Sky Television, the major broadcaster here. So it's not like he's coming from obscurity.
Okay. So basically, that will be the intro for the discussion, and then so if you have not heard about Jojo Wollacott here in Ghana, he is a new name on the Black Stars squad list. He's been named as a new goalkeeper among the 4 goalkeepers that have been named in the provisional squad by coach, the Serbian tactician Milovan Rajevac. Now, Ross, you will be giving more info about this. Well, you've been watching him week in, week out in the 4th tier football in the English scene. What does he bring to Ghana? Because Ghana has had a long issue of goalkeeping issues right from the days when Olele Kingston was imposed. We had Samir J. Then there was Olele Kingston, who also had a spell in England with Blackpool. But since then, it's been here, it's been there. We have not really had a formidable goalkeeper who can actually claim the spot. What does Jojo Wollacott bring to the Black Stars?
So, as much as I hate to admit it, he's had that experience from Bristol City Academy. So, they're a team that are aiming to be up there in the Premier League. So he's had that elite level training. He's got fantastic agility. He's confident playing out from the back. I can see from reading social media you've had selection issues and injury issues. So it was really important not just to have a firm established number 1 going forward into these qualifiers for you, but that you also want security as well. I know that you've got is it Atizigi from
Yeah,
St. Gallen in Switzerland?
yeah.
So, depending on who would go there, you want reliable pickup as well.
Well,
I would feel like depending on these two games that you've got coming up against Zimbabwe, you may get an opportunity to see what Jojo can do. And I encourage anyone to check out Swindon Town online and on Twitter, because often put highlights of his saves, and some of them, he doesn't tend to let in things that you think, oh, he should have saved that. He's got some spectacular ability.
Now, if I come to the statistics, in the League 2, he's had the most minutes in the League 2. He's made the most saves in the league, and then he has a save percentage of 84, approximately making it 85%, and then he's kept 4 clean sheets in the last 9. How pivotal is him for Swindon Town?
Well, he's crucial, because I can tell you that Swindon fans, we want to be, on one hand, we want to be excited that our goalkeeper has been called up. People are very worried because, we're losing a key player for October and November. And of course, we can't escape the last year with COVID restrictions as well, that he may need to quarantine on return for Zimbabwe if that stays on the UK red list. So he'll be a big loss to us.
Well, that's being stated. It means if Jojo is indeed called up, and then he wants to return as soon as possible for Swindon Town, it means in the second leg he should not be playing for the Black Stars, isn't it?
I guess so, but I think as much as we might like him to be there, I think that he is ambitious, and I think that he would want to compete at that that high level with the stars in the team. I don't think that he would capitulate to come back for Swindon. We do have a reliable number 2 in Lewis Ward, so we would cope without him. Obviously, we would prefer not to lose him. Ideally, you can cancel games in England if you have enough players called up to international, and I think a lot of fans would rather that we postponed our games rather than deny our players opportunities.
Okay. Finally, do you think he's the long-term solution for Ghana's goalkeeping problems?
It's certainly a possibility, because he's very young. This is his first established season where he's not out on loan from another club, so he can only sort of build up from here. That inclusion and going into these key fixtures will be a huge confidence boost for him. Can't be very nice hearing all this pessimism that I'm reading on Twitter about people saying, why is this 4th division player playing for us, or it's foolishness, or things like that. But I think that he can push that to one side and prove his mettle in the sticks.
Well, let's talk about maturity, because at 25 years of age, most players will be maturing enough. Coming to the Black Stars, and then watching him at Swindon Town, is he someone who commands the back line? Is he someone who is vocal enough to lead the line from the back?
Yes, absolutely. No question of that. He came to us on loan last year, and we unfortunately had a knee injury, so we had to get back to Bristol City. We were very impressed from there. And he's also had a loan at Forest Green, who are topping that league as we speak, so they're likely promotion favourites as well. I think that Swindon and Bristol, where he's come from, are very close geographically. So although people might think it seems strange that somebody would take a step down 2 leagues, geographically it's only like a 40-minute drive. But of course, he's got more likelihood of starting every game coming down to us. So he probably thought it was a worthwhile move, as lots of players in League 1 and League 2 do, that if they come down to that, they might be able to earn a move elsewhere.
Okay, great. Finally, final question, and then I can let you go.
Okay.
And should he get the nod? what would you say to him personally? Because on the personal level, I think most of you have spoken to him, getting to hear his view about it. Obviously, he's excited about the call-up, but what would be the personal advice you'll give to Jojo Wollacott if he joins the Black Stars?
I think it would be to to just display what he's shown for us at Swindon so far this season. For many people, when they're filling out their predictions every week, he's the first name on the team sheet. We had a period at the beginning of the summer where we were going through a ownership struggle, and there was a period in June where players weren't paid, and this was after he had come into the club. And he played for us unpaid for a number of weeks. So is not afraid to show his loyalty, and likewise, us Swindon fans will be following the progress of Ghana as well, and we'll be cheering you on also.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us all the way from UK, Joe Ross Williams from Lothian Podcast. In Swindon town. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, great. We'll continue with the discussion, but first, let's take a quick commercial break.